Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My student Fin 645 Futures and Option. Okay, welcome back to my lecture. So this week we will talk about chapter 5. So chapter 5 is index futures, or also known as equity futures. So index futures are actually related to equity futures. What does it mean? It means that the futures contract is actually derived from an equity or index. Okay, you have learned about equity or stock before this from your diploma level, in your last semester. If I'm not mistaken, Fin 552. Okay, so index actually measures the overall performance of a given stock market. Index will serve as the benchmark to measure the performance of a stock market. For example, if you want to measure the performance of Malaysian stock market, so we will not be able to study one by one, right? To generally know the overall performance of stock market, we can simply look at the index. So in Malaysia, we have a few indices such as we have KLCI, we have Syariah Index, we have Emas Index. Kalau you nak study Singaporean stock market, or you can simply look at the Straits Times Index. If you want to study the USA stock market, you akan guna Dow Jones Industrial Average, for example. So we don't have to look at one by one in order to know the overall one market stock performance. Okay. So, and normally the stock prices pula, the movement of the stock prices is determined by the market forces. When we talk about market forces, banyak lah. Demand and supply of stock ni depends. Alright, especially the demand on any stock depends on so many economic variables. Okay, such as the economic growth, inflation, also include the microeconomics, right? The company's performance. Those are the things that will influence the stock prices. Okay, let's take a look deeper on the about the underlying asset. So index futures derive from one underlying asset. In Malaysia, the underlying asset is the FBM KLCI, or also known as the cash index. Sometimes soalan dia akan sebut cash index, so you fahamlah it refers to the underlying asset. Okay, so the underlying or the cash market for the underlying asset is what? Of course, Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad. So this is where the shares are traded. Okay, so the underlying instrument pula, mak dia, asal usul derivatif tu nanti, mak dia, asalan dia, origin dia adalah FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI, or short form dia FBM KLCI, previously known as only KLCI. But if we mention KLCI, automatically kita fahamlah it refers to FBM KLCI. Okay, there are many indices used to measure the performance of our local Malaysian stock market. As I told you just now, we have a Emas Index, Industry Index, alright, and many more, Syariah Index. Even we have by every sector punya index. Okay, Plantation Index, Construction Index. But to conform with the international standard, so FBM KLCI has become the official index for Bursa Malaysia. Okay, so FBM KLCI, the underlying instrument, actually composed, terdiri daripada how they calculate the index. Alright, they will use the weighted average indices of 30 largest companies of the main board from various sectors of the economy. So ini mak dia, FBM KLCI, or the cash index. Now let's move to the futures contract. Derivative dia yang terhasil from the KLCI tadi. So the futures contract that derive from the KLCI or FBM KLCI is known as FKLI, Kuala Lumpur Index Futures, or also known as the futures in index. So what is the market? Of course lah, tadi cash market, now the futures market. Where is the market for the FKLI? At the Bursa Malaysia Derivatives Berhad. And what kind of futures contract that we have? We have FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI Futures, or FKLI. So if you want to define the FKLI, it is simply an agreement between buyer and seller to make and take delivery of the basket of shares. Kalau dalam CPO, take delivery of tons of CPO lah. But in this chapter, we're talking about indices. Alright, so we will take delivery, alright, of the basket of shares that make up the index. at an agreed price at a specified futures date. Okay. Alright, later on we will talk about the physical delivery and also the settlement of FKLI. These are the specification of the contract. Contract code FKLI, mark dia FBM KLCI. How to calculate the contract size? We will take the FKLI or KLCI multiplied by 50 ringgit. Later on we will take a look at the example. So what important for us next would be the final trading day. The final trading day for FKLI would be the last business day of the contract month. Kalau Januari, last business day would be 31st of January. But if the 31st January tu jatuh Sabtu, so the last day for the final trading for that contract will be on the 30th lah, 30 hari bulan, hari Jumaat. Why? Because hari Sabtu dan Ahad market akan tutup kan, market close. And if the 31st Januari tu jatuh hari raya ke Deepavali ke, kita akan tutup the last business day before the public holiday. Kalau public holiday 31 tu kena Deepavali. Deepavali hujung tahun. Kena cuti am apa-apalah. Okay. So maksudnya we will close the contract pada 30th, sehari sebelum the public holiday. Okay. Now let's move to the differences between FCPO and FKLI. The FCPO and FKLI ada two major difference. The first one, of course, the FCPO mark dia, the underlying instrument dia adalah the real physical asset or also known as business asset or economic asset. Benda boleh nampak real dengan mata. Alright? Okay, that is FCPO. For FKLI pula, the underlying asset is actually the financial asset. Alright. What is that? The KLCI or the FBM KLCI. So dekat sini financial asset, dekat bawah FCPO pula the underlying asset is the real physical asset. What about the delivery, the settlement matters at the maturity? At the maturity for the FCPO, what will happen? There will be a physical delivery of CPO. If you are buyer, you will take delivery. If you are seller, you will make delivery to the buyer. Okay, berlaku physical delivery at maturity for FCPO. Sebab again, FCPO is what? Agreement to buy or to sell specified underlying asset, which is the CPO at the predetermined date. Okay, FKLI pula at maturity, what happen? There will no physical delivery. What will happen? Only cash settlement in the investment account. Of course, the CDS account lah. Okay, tak adalah berlaku postman akan hantar kat kita sertifikat ke apa, no. Macam ASB apa semualah. If you want to buy or sell your ASB account, what will you have to do? You will just bring your book and then the plus minus of the unit will happen in the account only. So same goes to FKLI. Cash settlement only will happen in the investment account. Okay, let's stop there. We will continue about the main differences between Bursa Malaysia and Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad and Bursa Malaysia Derivative Berhad in next video.